Good afternoon, the day we've been waiting for. What a pleasure it is to see you all online today. Chesron and Lerato, can you please give me a thumbs up if all the participants that accepted the invitation are online with us? Can you please give me an indication if we need to wait another 2 minutes maybe, or if we can proceed?
We can proceed, Colleen. I've only received one excuse.
Thank you so much for that, Chesron. So you've been welcomed by the lovely music that we've heard, and what a pleasure it is to finally be at this Friday afternoon. It's nice and sunny here from Pretoria, and to welcome all of you on board. Chesron, if you can just show us that presentation again, that we can quickly go through the house rules again. Maybe people has joined a bit late, and so that we can just see those house rules quickly again. You're welcome to switch on your cameras. It will be nice to see all the faces. It will be nice to make you feel part of the graduation day. So here we are with the house rules again. We want you to ensure a smooth and enjoyable ceremony. Please take note of the following. Mute when you're not speaking. Please keep your cameras on for today's session, your videos. It's not custom for the expert to do that. We would always like to have the best possible connections, but today is exception to the rule. It's a joyful event, so please can I please ask the hosts to mute the other people? Somebody's not muted in the background there. She can't. Okay, there it is muted now. Good. Okie dokes. If you can put the house rules back, please, Chesron. I've muted Shikondi now. Okay, thanks a million for that. You're welcome to post in the chat and to use your reactions. We can applaud and we can cheer our colleagues and our fellow participants. And when I've introduced, after I introduced one of our esteemed speakers today, you're welcome to applaud and to make them feel welcome at this event. So yeah, Chesron, I see the rules is gone again. Okay, so we respect the flow of the ceremony. We do not interrupt the host or the speakers or the graduates. We please wait our turns for the next event to be announced or the next item on the program. Video etiquette, you keep your camera on if possible. And as I say, that is to ensure an engaging event for all of us. And please stay connected. We want you to be present. We want it to be a joyful event. And we are so happy once again to have all of you online at this day that we've all been looking forward for so long. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker to you. And it is a very known person, but always it is a privilege for me to have him on board with us today, despite his busy program. And he is our CEO. So Francis, it is my pleasure to introduce you today. He's the CEO of EthiExpert. He's a recognized expert in public health and research ethics with many years of experience in research, training and community engagement. He has worked with leading health research organizations across Africa and has made a valuable contribution to improving ethical research practices throughout the continent. He holds master's degrees in research ethics and public health, and is currently completing a PhD in research integrity. He also serves on several African and international committees that promote. I just want to mute this lady quickly. Okay, thank you for helping me there with that one. He also serves on several African international committees that promote research ethics, research integrity, and responsible research. But who is Francis to us? He's much more than an accomplished professional. He's a leader who leads by example. He has an exceptional work ethic and is always willing to share his knowledge and support others. His expertise, combined with strong professional relationships he has built across Africa and beyond, makes him a trusted and respected voice in his field. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Francis Kombe to deliver the welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Colleen. Wow, I really lack words to describe this day. It's really a great pleasure and a very big opportunity for me to stand before you and give this opening remark. Thank you, Colleen. Thank you, Chesrin, Loreto, and the facilitators. I can see there are a number of facilitators, specifically Brenda, and all of you who have made time to attend this event today. For me, this is an event that is very, very important to me personally, because building capacity around research ethics, research integrity, and responsible conduct of research are at the core of my heart. So not just as the CEO of EthiExpert, but in my everyday life, I'm really, really passionate about issues related to building capacity around research ethics. Now, the reason I'm here today, I hope that I'm going to be able to give you a very brief overview of EthiExpert, and most importantly, this training that you have gone through to accomplish today, and that is why we want to celebrate you. How did this particular training, begin? So, as you may all know, EthiExpert is a non-profit company. It's headquartered in Pretoria, but we have a mandate to build capacity around research ethics, research integrity, and responsible conduct of research in and for Africa. When we started EthiExpert, the mission was largely focused on promoting or building capacity for research ethics committees. But as we dive deeper into this particular space, we realized that one thing was very, very clear. While there's a lot of support in terms of research ethics, and more so in enhancing capacity for research ethics committees, specifically targeting reviewers and chairs of research ethics committees, there was very little that was happening around research ethics committee administrators. Yet, I hope you will agree with me that research ethics committee administrators are what I usually refer to as the engine of research ethics committees. If you've ever submitted a proposal or a protocol to any research ethics committee, you'll agree with me that the efficiency of that particular research ethics committee is usually mirrored by how proactive and how competent the administrator is. But usually, in many, many research ethics committees, this is a cadre that has been relegated to either being secretaries or taking minutes during committee meetings and not thinking much about their competences. So I want to acknowledge the contribution of Sarima, because I want to, Sarima has done quite a bit in terms of, doing the same thing that we're doing, promoting the competence of, research ethics committee managers. But administrators, as I already said, were totally left behind. And that is the motivation. That was the motivation behind establishing or starting this particular training. So we put our heads together, and thanks to RECA, who is also with us today, and Ike, who is the Director for Research and Development. Colleen was part of the initial discussion. we agreed to take the risk. And I'm saying taking the risk because usually developing and delivering this particular kind of a training requires a lot of resources. And we were very clear at the beginning that, you know, we will require resources to do this, but we were not sure how we were going to get the resources. So I am sure some of you might be surprised why, we charge a fee for conducting this training. Is because we want to do the best. So we involve a lot of, high-level facilitators from across the continent to ensure that the training that gets delivered is a training that people will appreciate, not just from the perspective of giving new information or sharing information, but from the perspective of changing the status quo, so that when you leave the training, you are no longer the same. And I hope that is what you have achieved over the 4 months that you have participated in this particular training, that you look at things from a different perspective. You understand the everyday ethical dilemmas and everyday ethical challenges from a different perspective or from a different lens, so that when you go back to your committees, people can be able to feel the difference. We didn't want to do a training that goes on as a tick box where I have attended this, I have learned this, things that you can be able to access anywhere else. We wanted to provide a training that is going to make people reflect on their everyday challenges, everyday practices, and begin in their very little ways, do things different. And I do hope that by participating in the training, you are able to learn from each other, you are able to learn from the facilitators that we engage, and most importantly, you are also able to share the experiences that you have in your everyday practice, because it is through this practice of co-sharing and be able to understand what people are going through in their everyday practices that we can be able to identify and develop interventions and be able to be innovative in the work that we do. So through these inspirations, RECA was born. I am glad to report that now we are on to the third cohort, and I want to believe, and I'm reliably informed, that today is the graduation for 2 cohorts, cohort 2 and cohort 3. So first, I want to say congratulations to all of you. Maybe you need to clap for yourselves. Let me see some claps, virtual claps for yourself for making it thus far. It's not easy, as you will be able to learn in a few minutes that this training, I have received a lot of feedback from most of you. This training is not easy, but it's worth it. For those that have given me feedback, they have said it's not easy, mostly because it brings in people who are already in the profession, people who are trying to balance a lot of things, family, studies, work, and many, many other conflicting tasks. But if you've been able to dictate time and be able to come this far, it is really, really commendable. And I want to say thank you so much for committing time, being dedicated throughout that period, trying to go around all the challenges that we have faced to get to the finishing line, which is today. Now, I want to quickly outline what is in it in terms of, now that you're finishing this, you have finished this training and you are going to graduate today. What next? The future might look so gloomy. The future might look like it's business as usual, because like I said, it could be one of those things that you do tick a box but you remain at the same point. And I want to challenge you to think outside of the box. The idea behind developing this course was to really ensure that we begin to look at research ethics administrators as professionals, people who can do things differently. And that is why we went an extra mile to get this course endorsed by an international entity that can be able to make this course internationally recognized. So take advantage of the opportunity, take advantage of the training, the knowledge you gained, but most importantly, the certificate that you get to look for other opportunities outside. But also, most importantly, as I said, make sure people feel the difference when you go back to your different organizations. Do things differently. Make sure you raise your hand whenever the opportunity arises. Say what you have learned, and say how you are proposing things to happen differently, so that people do not see that it's business as usual, but they see a difference in the way we do things. One of the things that we really hope to achieve from this is that research ethics committees are going to run more efficiently now, and we are hoping to do that through a number of ways. We already provide a platform, the Reno Ethics platform. I'm sure you learned about this. Please, when you go back, talk to your committees, talk to your colleagues and people that you know, so that they can also move from the manual system to now the digital system, because that is how we can also improve in terms of efficiency. The other thing that you may want to take advantage of, we also offer short courses. So in the event, the platform itself is not sufficient, and one person trained in an ethics committee is also not sufficient. Take advantage of the opportunity, the short courses that we offer. Invite us to talk to your committees, invite us to train your committee members, so that collectively the committees can be more efficient. And lastly, but not least, I want to emphasize the importance of networking, so that as we finalize our training, as we graduate today, do not feel that you are all alone. We are together with you. I've already talked to my team so that we can maintain either a group of alumni, but most importantly, a virtual space where we can continue to interact, share challenges, invite each other to conferences and webinars, so that we can continue building a community of practice where we can support each other and continue to be better and better, and grow from strength to strength. So I want to end here and finally communicate also opportunities for people who want to know more about the digital platform. Again, I've talked to my team about this. Please, if you have any opportunities to either use the digital platform, or you want to use the knowledge that you have to talk about the platform, to market the platform, we have opportunities for Reno Ethics Champions. And these are not voluntary. So you look for committees that want to transition from the manual space to the digital space. And once we finalize the agreement with them, you get a small commission for doing that. So I am sharing this because these are opportunities that can keep us together. We continue to network and share opportunities as we grow. And with that, I want to say thank you so much and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francis, our Chief Executive Officer, for the welcome, appropriately addressed, always doing a thorough job, always on time, always a pleasure to work with such a knowledgeable person. Thank you so much for that, Francis. Then we have another excellent speaker and an extremely, I want to use the word nice, but she's not also only nice. She's got so many other attributes. But it's a pleasure for me to introduce our chairperson to you. She is the next person to address the program for today. And despite a hectic program, she made time for us to be here today. She's always busy and not always busy, but she's always dealing with interesting stuff. And she's also always so committed to her work. Really a good example to anybody who will ever have the privilege of crossing her paths with. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce our chairperson, Dr. Rita Visagie, to you. She's a passionate champion and ethical and responsible of ethical and responsible research in South Africa and across the African continent. At the University of South Africa, where she's working full-time, and she's part-time involved in EthiExpert, but despite that, she's always available when there's really a need, and to accommodate her tasks to the best when the need arises. So she's working at UNISA full-time, but she also established Research Integrity Office and continues to play a leading role in promoting academic integrity and supporting ethical research. She holds a doctorate in advanced psychiatric nursing science and is a UNESCO-trained ethics educator. Now you can understand her involvement in this program and why she really wanted to be here with us today. She has received national recognition for her outstanding contribution to research management and research ethics, and has published widely in these fields. One of her greatest achievements is the impact she has had on people. Over the past few years, she has trained more than 1,200 academics, research professionals, and members of research ethics committees, helping to strengthen ethical research practices across Africa. So you're really an impressive person to have with us. But who is RECA to us? She's much more than her impressive qualifications. As a chairperson of EthiExpert, she's approachable, generous with her knowledge, and always willing to support others. She's a trusted colleague, an inspiring leader, and to many of us, a valued friend. So today we are honored to have someone with such a wealth of knowledge, experience, and passion joining us to celebrate this important milestone with our graduates. It is my pleasure to invite our chairperson, Dr. RECA Visagie, to address us on the critical role of research ethics committee administrators in research management. Thank you, RECA. Over to you.
Thank you so much, and a good day to you, distinguished guests, program director, fellow board members, colleagues, and above all, the proud graduates of the RECA training program. And after such an eloquent and heartwarming introduction, I can just say I am delighted to be with you today. And it's also amazing to be part of the EthiExpert team. I really value the dedication of each member of this team, and that's why it remains an honor for me to be part of EthiExpert. But let me focus on our guests of honor today, our proud graduates. You have completed a program, as Francis also said, that is unique in Africa, one that recognizes at last the immense contribution of the Research Ethics Committee Administrator to the future of research on this continent. Allow me to begin somewhere unexpected. As an 8-year-old child, I used to walk the dusty roads of a tiny northern Cape Town Kakamas with a neighbor's tame monkey perched on my shoulder. My world was small and filled with curiosity. I dreamed of a white coat and of saving injured animals. I could never have imagined that I would one day be here as a research manager, addressing a graduating class of ethics administrators and professionals. I suspect many of you can relate. It is as if most of us somehow accidentally fall into the research management field. But perhaps you too arrived then, as I said, in research ethics almost by accident. And yet, here is the thought I want to leave with you this afternoon. None of us could see our own futures. The child on that dusty road could not imagine this day. And in exactly the same way, the generations whose lives your work will touch cannot yet be imagined. They might not even have been born yet. They may not even know your names, and they may never know your names, but their well-being is in your hands. That is what I want to speak about today. The Research Ethics Committee Administrator as a custodian of the well-being of future generations. I will offer you 3 ideas. First, as central figures in the architecture of research governance, you safeguard an inheritance, the public's trust in science, which every generation holds only in trust for the next. Research management has evolved dramatically over the past 2 decades, from paper submissions and siloed committees to digital systems, harmonized protocols, and artificial intelligence. And Francis didn't say that, but Reno Ethics actually has an artificial intelligence tool built into it. And therefore, I think it is worthwhile considering obtaining Reno Ethics where committees do not yet have a digital system available. But through all that change, one thing has not changed. Research survives only for as long as society trusts it. And trust, once broken, is not easily restored. It is repaired, if at all, across generations. Communities that were exploited by research a century ago still carry that memory today. The harm outlived the researchers who caused it. This is why your work matters far beyond your administrative functions. When you ensure that the committee runs properly, that the review is fair, the documentation is complete, and decisions are defensible, you are not merely serving this year's researchers. You are ensuring that the decisions made today can still be defended before the participants' children decades from now. There is wisdom in this. We reach back to fetch what is good, the lessons, the records, the memory, precisely so that we can carry it forward. You are the keepers of that institutional memory. You are the reason the research enterprise can look backwards honestly and therefore move forward with integrity. The second idea, as ethical stewards, you care for the dignity of today's research participants and increasingly of people who will never appear in any research protocol. I've often described our profession as a bridge between knowledge and justice. Knowledge in its raw form is powerful, and power without ethics is dangerous. Justice demands that the benefits and burdens of research can be distributed fairly, that no voice be silenced, no participant exploited, no data mishandled. You are that bridge. In your pre-screening of every application, you remind researchers that the question, can we do it, must always be followed by the far more important question, should we do this? But consider how far that bridge now reaches. Every approval that crosses your desk is a human story waiting to unfold, and most of those stories unfold in the future. The clinical trial reviewed this year may cure a child who has not yet been born. The social study approved this month may amplify voices that shape a policy her grandchildren will live under. And the risks too reach forward. Genetic data does not describe only one participant. It describes her descendants who never consented. An algorithm trained carelessly today will make decisions about people who are, at this moment, only a possibility. Digital surveillance, artificial intelligence, genomics, these have made research ethics for the first time in history an explicitly intergenerational discipline. Our own African moral traditions understood this long before our regulations did. Ubuntu teaches that I am because we are, but the we has never been limited to the living. We are because of those who came before us, and those who come after will be because of us. When you protect a participant today, you are practicing Ubuntu across time. That is not administration. That is stewardship of the human future. The third idea, you are responsible for shaping your own futures. And Francis focused on that. And I think this is the thought I want to leave with you. You are responsible for shaping your own futures, because remember, the next generation will need who you are today and what you become. What makes today special is not only that you completed a RECA course, you have studied governance frameworks, mastered review systems, deepened your understanding of your own national and international regulations, and developed the judgment to coordinate complex committees. These are not purely administrative or clerical tasks. You are data managers and policy interpreters, project coordinators and ethical advisors, systems thinkers who understand that good research management is not about compliance. It is about cultivating a culture of integrity. But a profession is not sustained by one graduating class. It is sustained by succession. The ethical questions rushing toward us, artificial intelligence, genetic data, digital surveillance, will not be answered by those of us nearing the later chapters of our careers, myself included. They will be answered by you and by the administrators you will mentor, the policies you will shape, and the standards you will refuse to lower. And I am working with a research ethics committee administrator and ethics advisor who refuses to lower standards. So embrace lifelong learning, pursue formal recognition through the International Professional Recognition Council that Francis referred to. Mentor generously every research ethics committee administrator, a researcher or research ethics committee member that you mentor is actually a gift you send forward into the future. And that perhaps is the purest form of professional legacy there is. In conclusion, to the graduates, congratulations. To your family, thank you for your unwavering support. You too have invested in the future. Graduates, remember the child on that dusty road who could not imagine being with you today. Somewhere ahead of us are children who cannot imagine you, and whose health, dignity, and trust in science will nonetheless rest on the thoroughness, fairness, and conscience you bring to your daily tasks today and every day after today. You safeguard the inheritance. You steward well-being across time. You are building the profession for the future that the future will need. Africa needs your competence and your skills, and the generations to come are counting on your conscience. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Rita, for your inspiring message today. It's always a pleasure to listen to you, and you always come up with some fresh words and little stories to tell us and to make us feel part of the session. Thank you so much for sharing a bit of your personal life with us and your experiences. As I say, it's always a pleasure to listen to you. Since I've met you, I wish I could spend more time with you. You are one of my favorite people to spend time with. And yeah, thank you so much once again for being with us this afternoon. We know you have family responsibilities and high ethical standards to keep up at work. And yeah, so thank you once again for being with us. So ladies and gentlemen, our next person to introduce to you on the program today. I never had the opportunity to meet Brenda in person, but Brenda, since I've been with Ethic Expert, you were part of Ethic Expert. Since my start with Ethic Expert, you were always there. So it is my pleasure to welcome you today and to welcome you to the program as well. Thank you for offering. So Brenda is a Kenyan finance and grants management professional with more than 10 years of experience supporting donor-funded development and humanitarian programs. Throughout her career, she has worked She has worked with organizations including the Kenya Red Cross Society, Caritas Home Bay, and the African Youth Commission, where she currently serves as finance lead for the African Activists for Climate Justice Project. To us at Ethic Expert, Brenda is much more than an accomplished professional. She's a trusted colleague and a friend who is always willing to support our work, whether facilitating training sessions, serving as a speaker in our webinars, or giving a helping hand whenever needed. Brenda consistently gives her time and expertise with enthusiasm and generosity. She's someone who can truly rely on, and we deeply appreciate her commitment to advancing research ethics capacity across Africa. So today, Brenda will speak on Research Ethics Committee Administration Training as a tool for enhancing RECA competence. She will share how structured training equips Research Ethics Committee administrators with knowledge, skills, and confidence, and what is needed to support effective ethics review and strengthen the overall functioning of research ethics committees. Please join me in giving Brenda Odero a very warm ethics expert welcome. Brenda, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction. I would need to send Chestrine my updated one because I have a few more accolades that I have garnered over time. I need to floss a bit. But thank you so much. Yes, I will send it. Thank you so much for having me. The moment Chestrine shared this with me and told me it would be so wonderful for me to speak, I was so honored. This is such a big deal to even appear on the agenda. And the pressure was 10 minutes to share my opinion on RECA training as a tool for enhancing RECA competence. It's such an honor to be honest, and to just see my previous students here is it's so cool to see, and I hope you're as excited as I am. And just to it was an honor teaching everyone. So I will start. I hope I am as good as Francis, who came before, and Dr. Rita, who spoke before. They're touching on things that I will touch on. And most of you put around 165 contact hours, 12 plus modules, sessions on informed consent, on protocol deviation, on research integrity, AI, biobanking, and so much diversity in the modules. That is the paper record of what you did. So every time you logged into Zoom and Chestrine sent you emails, unlike most credentials, it almost maps out exactly what you know, what you can now do that you couldn't do 165 hours ago. So before you signed up for this course, for this training session, you have added 165 hours of knowledge and competence. You are a research ethics committee administrator, and some of you are researchers. And nobody outside a research institution, a university, or where you work knows what that means, which is part of the point of what RECA training is about. You are the quiet infrastructure that lets research claim trustworthiness. And I used to be a research administrator, so being on this side and just passing my knowledge and learning from you, it really shows what quiet infrastructure means, because I've lived it and you're continuously living it. You've read informed consents forms more carefully than the person who wrote it, which is very true, because you have to look at elements, not because you are born careful, you're learning on the job, but because a module has walked you through exactly what informed has to mean and how easily it fails. So now you're aware of it. You know what minor protocol deviations look like. And it's a phrase that has a lot of quiet work, because now you're able to triage. It's now very easy for you to look at what is and what's not ethical as a research administrator. You are the one API emails at 11. and then again at 11:05, again at 11:15, like a toxic X, because to them, urgency in research rarely respects the difference between fast and right. And something that is not really mentioned is even in this job as research administrators, now you're able to create certain boundaries. It's beyond the work, but it's also it gives you some mental strength that you didn't have before. And I know there's some sessions where you are able to discuss what kind of boundaries you need to have as research administrators. You now have the training to hold that line instead of just feeling uneasy about it. Should I use my WhatsApp to text PIs or not? Should I use email? So now you're aware there has to be a line. And I like what Dr. Rita had said before. Nobody grows up dreaming about this. My first brush with ethics was in my biochemistry class, and it was about Henrietta Lacks. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But I didn't know this is the path that would be the one for me. You didn't choose it because it was glamorous. Maybe you just needed the money, you need to pay your rent. And something in the work has kept you. There's something that kept you in the work of being an administrator, a research ethics administrator. But wanting to do this job and being able to do it well are different things. And the gap between them is exactly what these 12 modules were built to close. Because these 12 modules were designed to close that gap. Despite anything you knew before the 165 hours, now there's a gap that has been closed. And it's a strange and difficult thing to become good at it, and it doesn't happen by instinct. And I say this because despite learning these modules, you will always remember. And I don't say it because I am a facilitator. I say it because I have done very many modules. And from everything I learned, I'm able to instinctively question when I'm doing the work, when I'm doing triage, when I am sending comments. I'm like, oh, this is what we learned. I can go back and refresh. Oh, I can go back and just, oh, this is what we learned. And this is how I can better myself within my work. So reading a 7-page consent form in a font size that's built for ants and asking whether anyone actually understood it, it's a taught skill. Trust me, every day in your work, there are boring days and there are some very exciting days. And those exciting days are built on drama from researchers and people around you. Triaging submissions, the way an ear doctor triages patients, except instead of who's bleeding, it's whose consent process is bleeding. That's a taught skill. And by it being taught, now you'll take it and practice it. Drafting SOPs, chasing deviations, sitting through meetings about meetings, which was not my favorite part, and becoming quietly excellent at something that's as unglamorous, but I feel it's very glamorous because you're the quiet infrastructure, as minute taking, because someone has to be the reason a decision is remembered. Your institutional archive accurately for 5 years from now. Every one of those is a competency this program built into you on purpose. I would push that this program is so intentional to the point that you will remember everything you've learned. And if not everything, you will go back to the different slides that were sent to you by all the facilitators. And behind every one of those tasks is a person you will likely never meet. And Dr. Rita said that. A pregnant woman in a clinical trial who needs to understand in her own language what she's agreeing to. They're walking past you in the street. That's how I always envision how important our work is as research ethics committee administrators. The people walking down the street, you protected them in one way or another, be it in a clinical trial, be it in a behavioral trial, you protected them. A community that deserves to benefit from research conducted in its own backyard, not just supply the data for someone else's publication. You went through what is required. You are part of that research. A young researcher who needs to hear kindly but firmly that the participants seemed fine with it is not the same as consent. So you're also teaching. You're also teaching researchers, I know this is what you think, but this is what it means. Every module you sat through, vulnerable populations, biotech, AI, and all the rest, was training for one question asked in 12 different ways. Who is protecting the person on the other side of this research? And as of today, with the certificates that you will get to prove it, you are equipped to answer that. No one else is. The answer matters more now than it did even 5 years ago. Research is moving faster than most regulatory frameworks are built to handle, from genomics, AI-assisted research, biobanks, studies spanning 3 countries and 4 time zones, which you're very aware of when you're looking at multi-research studies. A decade ago, very few RECs were training to this capacity, especially on ethics of AI in research. Now it's a core curriculum because the world didn't wait for the paperwork to catch up, and you didn't wait either. You are here, you did the module, you did the whole training, and now you are graduating. You went and got trained. Now, you are not administrative overhead sitting between researchers and their ambitions. You are the reason they did groundbreaking work. You're part of it. And they did it responsibly. And this can be in one sentence, where yes, they always remember the groundbreaking work. They always remember the Nobel winners, which is very cool. But I think in that sentence of groundbreaking work, there should be, it was done responsibly because there was an administrator there was a committee there. I think that's how we should think about it because it's true. So here's what I'd ask of you as I end, beyond congratulations, which is congratulations. Keep reading the fine print, always, even when everyone around you has stopped. Even on the bad days, take a break, take a walk, even when the work can be so much. Ask the uncomfortable question. Francis had mentioned that in the meeting when it needs to be asked, especially when it would be easier not to. The moment you feel like I should keep my hand down, that's when you should raise your hand. And not the short hand, the L, the raised hand. And treat this certificate as a floor, not as a ceiling. The field will keep generating new modules you haven't taken yet, that, as it was mentioned. And the instinct to go get trained on the next one is itself part of what this program taught you. So it's a lifelong learning. It's not just this one. As you move on, it'll be lifelong learning. So you spent over 165 hours learning frameworks, templates, case studies, and all the others. This is not separate from competence you're walking away with. It is competence of the RECA certification. The pause before you sign off, the question you ask before anyone else thinks to, the refusal to let convenience decide what's ethical and what's not. It showed up because of what you've learned through this training, one at a time. So despite research needing brilliant scientists, we get it. It needs people trained to be the last line of defense between discovery and harm. And you are those people. So congratulations to every single one of you. I hope you remember that you being the quiet infrastructure doesn't make you small. When you're walking down the street, everyone that you meet in the supermarket, wherever you are, you protected these people. And with that, congratulations, graduates, you did the work. Now go use it. Please use it. I used it in my work and I'm where I am now, so use it in your work. And with that, thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Brenda. It was so pleasant to listen to you while you are sharing your own personal experiences with us today. Thank you for availing yourself, Brenda, and thank you for always making time for ETH Expert. We truly appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, next on the program for today is two people who also participated in the RECA training. And it is now my pleasure to introduce you to Leonie Louw. She's at the University of South Africa and she serves as a Research Ethics Officer in UNISA's Research Integrity Office, where she supports research ethics processes, researcher training, and the ethical review system across the university. Leonie is actively involved in developing research ethics capacity and regularly facilitates workshops and training for researchers, supervisors, and research ethics committees. Today, she joins us to share her reflections on the Research Ethics Committee Administrator Training Program, or the short version like you used to start using at ETH Expert, the RECA training, and how it has contributed to her professional growth and the important work of supporting ethical research. So please join me in warmly welcoming Leonie Louw. But with her, we have Lucy Moyo. And the two of them will address this session together. And let me also introduce Lucy to you. She's from Malawi, as I indicated, and she's a compliance officer for the Research Ethics Committee at the Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences. She has many years of experience in university administration, research support, and research ethics. She's passionate about research management, compliance, and building strong research systems. She's known as a reliable and dedicated professional who is always willing to support others. Today, Lucy will share her reflections on the Research Ethics Committee Administrator Training Program with us, while she's speaking about her learning journey and how the program has strengthened her knowledge and confidence in supporting research ethics committees. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lucy and Leonie with us for the next item on the agenda. Thank you. I'm not sure who's going first. Leonie, is it you, or Lucy, will it be you? Just make sure that you're unmuted.
Thank you so much. I wasn't able to unmute myself. The setting wasn't active. Good afternoon, colleagues, and thank you so much for that introduction, Colleen. And thank you to ETH Expert for the honor of being here today. To Dr. Francis Kombe, Prof. Ike, Dr. Rita Visagi, Brenda, thank you for your classes and for making everything so interactive and teaching me more about how to teach. And everyone who built and delivered this program on behalf of my fellow graduates, thank you. What you gave us over the 3 months of engagement was not just a certificate. It was a way of seeing our work differently, and it's also coming through very clearly in all of the engagement today as well. When I started this training, I already had experience in research ethics governance at the University of South Africa, and I thought I understood what it meant to administer a research ethics committee well. I didn't know that I was missing from practical mechanics of reviewing documentation to the harder questions of how we protect vulnerable participants. How do we manage data with integrity and communicate decisions in ways that are both rigorous and humane? What struck me most was how the training kept returning to a simple idea. Research ethics administration is not paperwork, it is stewardship. Every informed consent form that we check, every timeline we manage, every difficult conversation that we have with the researcher or with the participant sits on top of someone's trust. So this program reminded me that the systems we built and the SOPs we write only matter if they hold that trust carefully. I also want to speak about what this course gave us beyond the content itself. It gave us each other. Sitting in sessions with colleagues from different institutions, from different contexts and different corners of this continent's research landscape, I was reminded that none of us does this work alone. The gap analysis, the case discussions, the moments where someone shared a challenge from their own committee and the rest of us leaned in to help. That is where the real learning happened. I want to thank my fellow students from our class at the end of 2025 for making this journey a shared one rather than a solitary one. For those of us working within institutions where research ethics touches everything from postgraduate supervision to institutional reputation, this training could not have come at a better time. And I will be taking what I learned here directly back to my own practice and into how I support our committees, how I train our reviewers, and how I think about fairness and equity in the way ethics decisions get made. I suspect that many of you will be doing the same in your own institutions. I want to leave you with a thought before I hand over to Lucy. Research ethics administration often happens quietly in the background, away from the credit that researchers themselves receive for their discoveries. But nothing in research enterprise moves forward without us. We are the ones who make sure that the work is done properly, safely, and with respect for people who make that research possible in the first place. That quiet work deserves to be done with pride, and it deserves to be done well. Before I close, I want to say a personal thank you to Chesren and Lerato. As our administrative support, you were the ones holding everything together behind the scenes. The communication, the reminders, and the small acts of encouragement that kept us going when the workload really felt heavy. None of us would have reached this stage without you, so thank you. To EthiExpert, thank you for investing in that quiet work that we do and in us. And to my fellow graduates, congratulations. We earned this together. Thank you, and over to you, Lucy.
Thank you so much, Leon. I couldn't agree with you more. You've quite summed up almost everything I wanted to say, so I'll just top it up because I feel very passionate about what you said, and I can relate to everything that you have said about this course. Good afternoon, distinguished facilitators, colleagues, and fellow graduates. It is both a privilege and a profound honor to address to you today on behalf of my cohort as we celebrate the successful completion of our 4-month journey in the research administration by EthiExpert. This moment is not only a milestone in our professional growth, but also a testament to the dedication, resilience, and shared commitment that each of us have brought to this program. First off, allow me to sincerely recognize and thank the organizers of RECA, the RECA program, the CEO, Francis Kombe, our dedicated coordinators, Cheslin and Relato. Your vision and commitment have been envisioned by all of us, and it has been impactful. It's truly transformational to all of us, to our facilitators, Brenda, and the rest of them that are so numerous to mention. Your engaging sessions, practical case studies, and interactive approach not only to enhance our analytical and problem-solving skills, but also encouraged teamwork and a network across diverse backgrounds. To my fellow graduates, congratulations. Balancing work and commitment with this intensive training was no small feat. Your resilience and dedication have been inspiring, and I look forward to continually collaborate with all of you. As with many programs, there are also lessons for growth. Some of us experienced some challenges when the exam was delivered with technical issues and also heavy writing format, which made a few of us to fail to participate fully. We hope future cohorts will benefit from smoother education examination administration. Similarly, the capstone project was very inspiring and also informative to us. Much as this, a few of the expectations were a bit not very clear to most of us, leading to a bit of confusion. But we recommend that in future, the cohorts that will join in will receive more detailed guidelines to maximize the learning outcome. Despite these challenges, the program has been full of life-changing experiences. The module delivery, as already mentioned, the facilitation with the training, with the trainers, it ensured a full active participation and a meaningful interaction, far more engaging than any self-administered training can ever offer. Another important key takeaway, which Francis already highlighted, we are excited and looking forward to the alumni network because it will be a platform that will allow us a continued sustained collaboration, knowledge sharing, and as well professional growth beyond this graduation. On behalf of my cohort, I extend thanks, and once again, I thank you, AT Expert, our facilitators, and fellow graduates. This program has equipped not only me, but all of us with invaluable skills and insights that will shape our work in research ethics administration. Congratulations to us all, and may this be the beginning of even greater impact in our institutions and communities. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Leonie. Thank you for sharing your experiences with us. It's extremely encouraging for us to hear what you have experienced during the 3 months that you've been part of the training program. I feel delighted to hear the positive words, and obviously will definitely address your concerns and recommendations in moving forward with this program. Thank you once again for that, and thank you also for being willing to be a part of the program for today. So I'm pretty sure all of you are excited now as to when we are going to the next step, or when can we eventually get to the certificates and the actual graduation ceremony, the moment that you've been waiting for. We are almost there. Next on the program, we have Professor Ike Iyoke. He will do the keynote address for us. So, but let me introduce Professor Ike Iyoke to you. I had the privilege of, no, I haven't yet. I haven't yet met him in person. Tragic. But he's on a different continent. But he's always joining our virtual meetings, and he feels part of the family. So it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Ike Iyoke, a respected scholar, educator, and researcher to you today. He has more than 20 years of international experience. He has taught and worked in Nigeria, the United States, and more recently in South Africa. Throughout his career, he has combined his passion for teaching with research focused on research ethics, public health, and international collaboration. Now you know why he's part of AT Expert as well. He has worked with universities and research teams across Africa and beyond, helping to strengthen research capacity and promote ethical research practices. His work has earned him prestigious fellowships from the MacArthur Foundation and the Carnegie African Diaspora Fellowship Program. What a privilege is it to have such a remarkable person in our midst. Professor Ike Iyoke is also the author of several books on research ethics and responsible research, with a particular focus on the African context. This is making him so much more reputable and welcome in our midst. His work continues to influence researchers and strengthen ethical research across the continent. To us, Ike is much more than his impressive achievements. Although he now lives thousands of kilometers away, he remains deeply committed to supporting his colleagues in Africa. He's always willing to attend meetings, review articles, share his knowledge, and offer wise advice whenever it is needed. His generosity, humility, and dedication have made him a valued colleague and friend. Today, we are honored to have him with us to deliver the keynote address and to confer certificates on our graduates. It is a privilege to have someone of his experience, wisdom, and commitment sharing his special milestones with us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ike Iyoke. When he's done with the keynote address, I will share some more stats on the 3 cohorts of participants we've had this far, and then we will finally get to the highlight of the day, or the moment you've been waiting for. Professor Ike, over to you.
Thank you very much. I hope you can hear me well. Okay, good. So let me stand on all protocols to recognize all the dignitaries and professionals present today. Let me also extend my appreciation to the executive directors of RECA for inviting me to speak for the second time to this August occasion in July. Today we gather once more to witness the crowning of our new RECA graduates who are eagerly pumped up like a rodeo to get to work. Obviously, ethics is front and center in the work of Research Ethics Committee administration. And even a child knows that the world today is ethically challenged. Therefore, let me lead you briefly through a few thought-provoking deliberations on the subject matter of ethics. And I start with myself. Not just as an ethicist, but I keep reminding myself on a regular basis, which is why on my email signature, I have a saying that goes like this: integrity is doing the right thing when no one is watching. In other words, integrity is telling myself the truth, and honesty is telling the truth to other people. A person without ethics is a wild beast, loose upon this world. It needs something to think about as you jump into the world to do your work. A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures. And that is the basis of all human morality. Integrity without knowledge is weak and useless. And knowledge without integrity is dangerous and dreadful. We need timeless principles to steer by in running our organizations and building our personal careers. We need high standards. That's the ethics of excellence. I encourage you to have the courage to say no. Have the courage to face the truth. Do the right thing because it is right. These are the magic keys to living your life with integrity. The most important persuasion tool you have in your entire arsenal is integrity. Live so that when your children think of fairness and integrity, they think of you. And as you can imagine, this is just a collection of some wise sayings that I gathered that I think would be very helpful to you and to all of us. So there you have it. A word is enough for the wise. As I've done in the past, let me also remind you of the ethics expert training expected outcomes, which by now you are fully aware. And that is to understand your roles and responsibilities, You've been made up to date with the latest developments. You've been equipped with necessary skills, comprehensive knowledge and attitudes, and able to navigate the complex landscape that we dwell. Do not devalue the mantle you have been handed today, and don't underrate the impact it will have on everyone you encounter in the course of your duties, be they research scientists, politicians, technocrats, your bosses, colleagues, or the ordinary person in the street. Also, as a reminder, keep in mind the objective of EthiExpert, which is to ensure that everyone in every African country can attain better health and an improved quality of life, with a strong emphasis on fairness and social justice. EthiExpert empowers the continent by promoting responsible and ethical research practices. Its core mission is to enhance the capacity for research ethics throughout all the 55 countries and territories in Africa. In that sense, EthiExpert is dedicated to improving the quality of life and health across Africa by promoting Africa-centered ethical research practices, ultimately saving lives and achieving better health for all. That assignment is for you and for me. If we don't do it, no one will do it for us. On that note, again, I appreciate the great opportunity to share this exceptional moment with you all today. And thank you for your attention. Congratulations, all you graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ike. You are always doing an exquisite job. It's a pleasure to have you with us, and we love your attire. You are so ready for the occasion. Can't wait for the next item on the agenda. But before we get there, I would quickly like to share some stats with you. This is now the third time that we offered this online course. And I think it is in the interest of all the participants to get some background from where we started with this training event up to where we are today. So cohort 1, we offered during the first semester of 2025. And then cohort 2 during the second semester, and then obviously cohort 3, we offered it during the beginning of this year, during the first semester. So for cohort 1, 14 people registered, 14. We had 0 people who dropped out. We had, unfortunately, 1 person that we had to disqualify. So it means 13 people graduated, successfully completed the course. And what's interesting about the very first group that we had only gold and platinum achievers during cohort 1. I'll get to the marks that they had to get for these different classifications of the status. For cohort 2, we had 13 people who registered. Unfortunately, 4 dropped out and 9 then graduated. Luckily, nobody was disqualified during cohort 1. Now for cohort 3, we have 12 people who registered, 2 dropped out, 1 was disqualified, which means we had 9 people who could graduate. It gives us in total 18 and 13 is how much? 18 and 13, I think is 21 people. Am I right? 21 people who graduated from this training event. So if I can give you the status of the achievements, cohort 1, 3 people graduated with bronze status, 3 with silver, 1 with gold, and 2 with platinum. Cohort 3, 3 people with silver, 3 people with gold, 3 people with platinum. So what I get from these stats is that most people are achievers. So they benefit from the course. The the people scoring bronze status is not that much. And it tells me that people are really into and interested in this course. It is applicable to the work that they are working in, the environments that are finding themselves in, and they really benefit from this course. So to get over to today then, can I read out the names, Professor Ike? Would you like to read out the names and the status that what they've achieved? Professor Ike?
Thank you again. Yes, let me
do you
get on
have
with
the
that.
names? Do you have the names and the statuses?
Yes,
Can I give
yes.
it? Are you ready for it?
Yes, I have the names. Let me say before I start that I'll probably mispronounce some names, but I try as much as possible to do the right thing. If I mispronounce your name, next time you meet me, you offer me a glass of wine and then teach me how to pronounce your name. That's just a joke. Okay, so under cohort 1, that is what I have here. The bronze category, Violet Chikambi Kamwendo from Malawi. Chikondi Sharin Chimbabata from Malawi.
I'm sorry, Prof, just to disturb you a bit. Can I ask that when they call out your name, you may open your camera so that we can screenshot? Thank you. So maybe we can start again with...
So let me start over.
Please.
Okay. So under cohort 2, under the category of bronze, Violet Chinkambi Kamwendo from Malawi. Chikondi Sharin Chimbabata from Malawi. Fabian Ina Grant Sagnia from Gambia. And then on that category, the silver category, Naomi Pleasant Mvula Sibale from Malawi. Phyllis Babia from Uganda. Ebrima Sabali from the Gambia. Now over to the gold category. Karima El Razi from Morocco. And onto the platinum category, Yamkela Silwayana from South Africa. Leonie Barbara Lau, also from South Africa. Now we get on to the third cohort, cohort 3, under the silver category. Joyce Macheso from Malawi. Noah Suta Biwat from Kenya. Sifilele Ndimba from South Africa. Under the gold category, Simon Nyondo from Malawi. Alex Shabanj from Malawi. Or is this Sabani? Okay, sorry, Sabani from Malawi. Precious Nale from South Africa. And onto the platinum category, we have Wilfred Edson Nedi from Malawi. Anthony Orembe Mulama from Kenya. Lucy Scott Moyo from Malawi. A round of applause to all our graduates.
Thank you so much, Professor Ike. Thank you so much. Well done to all the participants with all the lovely achievements. If I can just quickly mention here, the bronze status you achieved between 50 and 59%, silver between 60 and 69%, gold between 70 and 79%, and then for platinum, you must have achieved a mark at the end of the day of above 80%. People, we are well aware that it is challenging situations. To do a course online is not the easiest way. You are full-time employed where you are. You have other commitments apart from work. You did an amazing job still, even if you scored above 50. Well done to all of you. May you go from strength to strength in your workplace with what you've learned and make a difference between your colleagues and your families and wherever you are. And please feel proud of your achievement. Well done. It was not an easy time. It was huge sacrifices. So congratulations. Lerato, are you going to tell us what we have to do for the photos before I go to the next step, which is the closing remarks? Shall all of us switch our cameras on? Do you want to have of the graduates only photos? How do you want to go with it?
I think everyone will be good. I think if we can all switch on our cameras, that will be good.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, if we can maybe smile.
Yes, clapper.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Siphelele.
Thank you for that. Are you happy with the photos?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Good. So we have come to the end of the program and it feels kind of sad. We've been waiting for this time for so long and here we are at the end of the ceremony. Thank you so much for staying with us all the time and for being with us. So I would like to extend my sincere thanks to everyone who made this event such a meaningful success. Lerato, you and Chester has put together the program and you've invited experienced masters of ceremonies and whatever. Unfortunately, we're not available and I offered to stand in. It was a pleasure for me to stand in and yeah, quite an interesting Friday afternoon for me for a change, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I just want to thank our distinguished speakers, Francis Kombe, Dr. Rita Visagi, Brenda Odero, Leonie Lau, Lucy Moyo, and our keynote speaker, Professor Ike Yoki, for sharing your knowledge, your experience, and words of encouragement. Your contributions have inspired all of us. To our graduates, congratulations on this important achievement. Today is not just about receiving a certificate. It's a celebration of your commitment to excellence, your dedication to research ethics and compliance, and your willingness to make a positive impact in your institutions and communities. We are proud of every one of you. Thank you also to everyone who joined us online from different parts of the world. Your presence has made this celebration even more special. Professor Ike Yoki, you are in the United States, and I think if I remember correctly, you are in Illinois. So early morning for you in South Africa, on the African continent, we are about to knock off and start enjoying the weekend. But thank you so much for the excellent job you did, and we really enjoyed your presence being with us. But thank you also to everyone who joined us. And I would finally like to thank the expert team and everyone who worked behind the scenes to organize today's event. Lerato, the music was great, and Chesrin for the slides that you've put together and all the assistance that you gave behind the scenes. It is a pleasure working with you, Francis, for the last minute guidance that you provided to make it a successful event. We really appreciate your support and for always being there for us. Thank you so much. So on behalf of ETH Expert, thank you for celebrating with us today. We wish you every success for the future, and please stay in touch. And this is now specifically to the graduates. Don't forget about ETH Expert. Get connected, follow us on the social media platforms. We would like to follow you as well and to see how you are going forward with your careers. Thank you so much. We can conclude the session. Keep well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you to you, Colleen, for a splendid job.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Done.